Hey guys, you thinking about moving to Virginia Beach, Virginia? Well, stay tuned. I'm going to tell you about the pros and cons of living in Virginia Beach. Hey guys, if this is the first time you're visiting the channel, hit the subscribe button or tap the bell for notifications. And we're going to get down to it and tell you a little bit about the pros and cons of living in Virginia Beach. I am Megan Luker. I'm a second generation realtor and I've lived in Virginia Beach for 31 years. I am a military wife and a mom of a Navy pilot. So let's get down to it and talk a little bit about the pros and the cons, the good and the bad of living in Virginia Beach. Okay, so let's get started, and if you stick around to the end, I am going to tell you about a secret spot to watch the sunset that most people don't know about. Okay, let's get started. So we have so much water around Virginia Beach, and I'm just a beach lover. I love that you can go to the quiet end of North End, and it's more residential, and then we have the Chesapeake Bay, outside of Chicks Beach area, where the lapping water just kind of flows in and it's more calm. And then I love Sandbridge Beach. They have a state park down there that's called Sandbridge or Little Island State Park, and I love that area because you feel like you've kind of escaped, and they have restroom facilities there. I'm also a big fan of First Landing State Park, and there are so many hiking trails. I think it's over 20 miles of hiking trails, and there's like this cute little beach that you can walk to, and a lot of boaters will pull up there and hang out and moor their boats and play music and hang out and swim, and you can sometimes see the dolphins. There'll be paddle boarders. There's also kayaking, jet skiers, and it's just like a really family-oriented, fun place. And there's also restrooms at that area. So I'm just really a big fan of living on the water. But if you're not into water and you loved other type of outdoor activities, we have amazing parks all around the area. One of my favorites, when my kids were little, and I have actually raised all three of my kids here, and we used to spend a lot of time while my husband was deployed at a park called Mount Trashmore. And yes, it is a big pile of trash. It's now covered with green grass and a huge hill, and they have 2 lakes, and they have 2 nice play areas. They have a skate park. You'll see people watching, flying their kites and walking their dogs and pushing strollers, and it's just a really great. And they also have a bunch of food trucks come in once in a while with some concerts. So I do love so many aspects of Virginia Beach. If you love music, there's tons of music for free down at the oceanfront on different stages. Every weekend there's some like jazz, and there's Carolina Shag, and it's just awesome. And then one of my most favorite things is the Oceana Naval Air Show, and that's in the fall, usually around Neptune Festival. And you'll usually get to see all types of aircraft come in from all over the country, the Canadian snowbirds, and my favorite is the Blue Angels. And actually from the neighborhood I live in, which is outside the back gate of Oceana, all of us go outside and hang out and watch the Blue Angels fly over our houses, and it's really super cool. So I'm just a big fan of water, canoeing, jet skiing, boating, tons of fishing. You can go on dolphin tours. There's just so much to offer in our area. Okay, let's talk a little bit about the cons. The first con I would say about Virginia Beach is all the traffic and how spread out everything is. If you live in Virginia Beach, the most common commute time is going to be about 20 to 25 minutes if you're commuting to work, especially for the military, depending on what base you work at. Now, if you happen to purchase in the area of Dam Neck Base or Oceana, then you're going to luck out and maybe only have a 5 to 10 minute commute. And that's the area where I live, and it's an amazing area of Virginia Beach. But I'll say the number one con is probably the drive time to get to all the spread out areas of Virginia Beach and our tunnels. There can be major backups during the summer. Fridays, if you don't get through the tunnel to leave and go out of the area by 2 o'clock, you'll probably be sitting in traffic for quite a long time. So I would say that's the number one con of Virginia Beach. And you will also need a car here because the public transportation system is okay, but it's not like you can just jump on the metro and get to the next stop. Okay, con number 2, I would have to say, is flooding. We do get a lot of storms, and because Virginia Beach is at sea level, there are a lot of areas of Virginia Beach that do flood, and so you will need flood insurance most likely. And even if you don't have to have it, I still recommend it. I think the last really major devastation that Virginia Beach had was Hurricane Camille, and the tides were like above 4 feet over. So it's not very often that we have had to evacuate. I've lived here 31 years and never have had to evacuate the area. Sometimes they do recommend leaving if you're worried about the strong winds and damage. And I was here alone several times during hurricanes when my husband was deployed. A tree almost came down on my house, so it can be a little bit scary. So I would say that is one of the number 2 cons. Okay, so con number 3, I would have to say, is there really isn't a major professional sporting teams here in Virginia Beach. We do have some professional teams like the hockey, the Admirals, we have the Tidewater Tides for baseball, but if you really want big time sports, you probably have to move closer to DC to get that. Con number 4, I think, is Virginia Beach, because it's so spread out. We really don't have like a major skyline or downtown area. We have the town center, and it's been growing over the last 10 years when the Westin brought in its hotel, and we have several buildings now in the town center area and restaurants, but it's not your typical skyline. And so if you're looking for more of that urban downtown, you could go to Norfolk. But Virginia Beach really just doesn't have that. We are one of the largest cities in the Hampton roads at 450,000 to 500,000 people, but we do not have a major skyline. And I'll say that con number 5 is probably the jet noise. And actually, I don't mind it. It's the sound of freedom, but a lot of people do find that it can get pretty loud, and we do disclose that in our real estate documents. So when you're looking to buy your house in the Virginia Beach area, make sure that you study the noise zone areas. I live 5 minutes from Oceana back gate, and I love the sound of freedom, and you just kind of get used to it. If you're at the north end at the Virginia Beach above 60th Street, it's less noisy, and there's certain neighborhoods that do have more of the landing pattern, and so when those jets are coming in, they're going to be noisy, but that's the price we all pay to have our freedom here in this great USA. Back to the pro list now. Pro number 2 is we have such a strong military presence in this area. There's so many military moving in and out of our area, and I just love raising my children for the appreciation of all that serve this great country. And one memory I have that is so dear to my heart is like just going to a homecoming after a 6-month or 9-month or 1-year deployment, and going down to the Norfolk Naval Base and seeing those big aircraft carriers or ships come in, and all of the men that have served and women that have served on the deck and all in their whites and saluting, and that feeling you get as a Navy wife when you see your spouse come off that aircraft carrier, or when they fly into Norfolk Naval Station, Air Station, or Oceana Naval Station with the jets flying in, and all the signs and the flags and the the celebrations of life and all of the first time parents, the mommies and the daddies with their babies reuniting or uniting for the very first time. I just love seeing that aspect of our community. There's so many businesses that support the military, and you can always ask for that military appreciation, or what I call the KISS, or the discount. And there's a lot of benefits for the veterans here in our area, and I'm happy to fill you in on some of those tips and tricks that some people don't know when it comes to living in this area. And so I just really appreciate all those that have served and are serving our country. Pro number 3 is awesome seafood and restaurants in Virginia Beach. I have so many favorites that I can't even list them all. And we do have so many local fishermen that the fresh catches of the day, mahi-mas, Catch 31, Rudy's. I love the swings at Rudy's. And you can just enjoy some of the best seafood and best crab cakes around here in Virginia Beach. My favorite sushi place is Mizuno's. Walter, he is like the best sushi I've ever had in my whole life, and I've gone around to all the major cities, LA and New York and Miami, and compared his sushi to all these other restaurants, and I still come back to him because he is top notch. One of my other little favorites is this little cafe off of Shore Drive called Leaping Lizard. It's been on Dives and Diners, and they have organic, fresh, local. Down in the Vibe District, they have some major, cute little soup shop called Stock Pot, fresh bone broth for you health organic people. And if you're looking for some vegan options, there are the My Favorite Vegan spot at Hilltop. My Vegan Sweet Tooth is a great spot at Hilltop, and also Palon's down at the oceanfront has some great vegan options. And then I just love that there's all these coffee shops all over the place that are pretty fun. My favorite is Three Ships down in the Vibe District. And so be sure to explore, and I do give a great list of restaurants to my clients when they come to the area. Pro number 4, I would say, is proximity. Virginia Beach is pretty amazing that we can get to so many different areas. We can go 3 hours north to Washington, D.C. and be a part of the history and all the museums in the D.C. area. A lot of people like to go up and enjoy the wineries in Charlottesville area, which is about a 2.5 to 3 hour drive, and enjoy all those skyline hikes in the Blue Ridge Mountains and the Appalachian Trails. We are 1.5 to 3 hours from the Outer Banks in North Carolina. And if you want just a day of going out into the country, there's some great horse farms. Drumroll number 5, I would say, is Virginia Beach school systems. We are ranked number 35 for Princess Anne High School in the state of Virginia, and we have 12 high schools, and our public school system is pretty amazing. And I think a lot of people appreciate that we have the lower tax rate, and we have such great school systems. So that is my top 5 and my 5 cons. And now, since you stuck around to the very end, I will tell you about the secret spot to watch the sunset. If you're military, you can go to Dam Neck Base, and there is a little lake at the end of the road, almost as you're heading south, and you turn down and go to the end of the park, and there's like a little hidden lake, and they have a great little picnic bench spot. And when the sun goes down on that area, it is pretty amazing. The second spot that I know of for an awesome sunset is in Sandbridge at Baja, and it's over the Back Bay. And you can sit there and enjoy. On the weekends they have a little live music and have a cocktail or hang out with your friends, and see the most beautiful sunset. And I hope you really enjoyed all these tips today, and remember to reach out. I'm available. Give me a call. You'll see the number right below. Send me an email. Drop a question down in the comments below if I forgot anything else. And thank you so much, and I hope that you will subscribe and come back again for some of my next videos.